Hello everyone, I hope everybody is okay and staying safe. This is the last video about my cast and crit volatile dead cyclone character, and as I said in the previous videos, I wanted to basically finish up the character, tell you how I finished up the character, and then I'm gonna give you a perfect passive building just so you know what to strive for long term. But let's start with like a map showcase. I'm gonna go into a T16 map. As you can see, item quantity 124, a bunch of mods that we really don't care about, even if it's the only thing that we care about because of such a high crit chance and our ascendancy. We don't have to care about elemental reflect or phys reflect for that matters. The only thing that we have to care about is no mana regen because we don't have the minus mana rings. But how we compensate for that is the Cinder Soul, and the 1% mana when you kill an enemy is more than enough to sustain us basically. So I'm gonna go over this map, and after that we are gonna go over the gear one last time. I know you guys are getting tired of this character, but as any other character, there's like a process of striving to get better, and yeah. This is a 60% Delirium map, so there's going to be a lot of tanky things. And if you played Delirium the past couple of days, you already know, especially in 60% T16, everything else is going to be a joke if you can handle this one. And we spawn the Conqueror, which is really nice. And here's the boss. And if you guys have problems with like Delirium bosses, this is how I generally do it, especially because we're Cyclone. It's very easy to just sidestep them over and over again. This time I messed up a little bit. Oh, I'm frozen. Yeah, these guys are tanky. We should be getting there. So. Oh.
Just who I was hoping to see today!
We have Cassia. Gonna have to pick up this loot at some point, I already know. The screen shake is a little bit of a headache, especially when mobs are this tanky. But it gives you like a sense of enjoyment to a certain degree. And you can see our sustain is not that bad, we just got 2 tier 16 towers. Just be careful about like all these electric guys, the usual stuff basically. Pick up some loot. Missed a bunch of mobs here. All these triangles. I'm picking up a lot of the simulacrum's splinters because like I've been running simulacrums. They're really nice. Like I enjoy the challenge that anything basically challenging in this game. And this is Resonate, so let's move it over. Nothing left here, if I'm not mistaken, nothing. And by the way, if you're running T16 Delirium maps, you wanna put as much juice in it as you saw. I added a bunch of things just to add more mobs to the map, so I get better returns on my investment. But as you see, like, we are fairly tanky and we have a good enough damage that we kill white mobs really easy, and even rare mobs, if they're not tanky like Delirium rare mobs, you should be able to like kill them fairly easily. Okay. Move this one. All these little things, if you try them out a couple of times, you get a hang of it. The red ones, for example, are going to be the new volatiles after the changes. Basically, they're going to be following you, trying to kill you. Everything else is fine, as long as it's not... Oh! Another boss. So generally, you don't want to fight a boss in a corner, so you try to bait him out. Just good enough. Again, sidestepping the whole thing, all the animation, just their normal attack. At some point he's gonna jump to his black hole type of thing, and just worry about, just be careful about it. As soon as he does, you wanna probably dash, or flame dash in my case, out of it. Gonna be like a cascading animation, and you want to get out of it. It's like a lot of damage. Here he goes. That's what I was talking about. Then you can bait him again. As I was saying, besides like these unique mobs that are fairly tanky, we have like a high enough damage that we can kill almost everything. This is a 60% Delirium T16 with 124, and if I'm not mistaken, some mob life or something, and we still killed everything.
I need more pockets.
Okay, I ran out of space. I can actually come out and pick up these stuff. Let me show you like a Cassie as well. I just want to show you the damage. Don't really mind. I'm building too many of these things. I should upgrade just one. But I just want like, if I have any stranglers. As you see, even high level map Blight is a joke. I had a bunch of Blight maps because of the Blight one, the Delirium Orb for Blight. I ran them yesterday or the day before. It was really nice, really enjoyable. I do enjoy Blight, to be honest with you. That was one of my favorites. But be careful so they don't gang up on you. Or else you're gonna fail, like me. I'll pick up my divine. Two more syndicates. Oh, we didn't even finish the last one, so the other one cannot. Where goes him? Yeah. I wanted to show you a research, hopefully. Here we go.
If I have a moment for last words, I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Let's hope for some entertainment.
I believe this one is intervention. Yeah. Yeah, I think that my research is full right now. That's why I didn't. Wow. Yeah, that was 4 member syndicates in a T16 map, and I didn't even realize it, to be honest with you. So we have the damage.
I just can't.
Get him there.
Hate myself. Hate me. Hate the dog.
Executing us.
You and I could.
I'm gonna let you go because
and
I want
I.
you. And what
I can
options do you give
appreciate
me?
a kill. You're starting to figure it out, aren't you? I can see it in your eyes.
I'm gonna come back up for all the loot. Just too much. So, almost finished 21 stranglers. This boss is really hard, especially when he calls down. When he comes down, it's gonna take 3/4 of our health, which is okay. We come back up really fast. But when he calls down the meteor, and because this is a tanky boss, we are gonna have like issues, 31% monster life. So it's gonna get to that phase probably. And I wouldn't do this if I played hardcore. Definitely. Okay, maybe not actually.
Well,
I should have put down. I actually did. So let's put all of these away. As I was saying, I'm farming a bunch of simulacrum splinters because I've been trying to play a bunch of simulacrums. But yeah, they had some physical damage. Yeah, that's why we died. I wanted to showcase like boss damage. We dodged that one. Or else we would have died. We're burning. Burning is actually really bad for us. Any damage over time is really bad because not the greatest showcase I know, but like I wanted to show you the hardest map possible, and this is really the hardest map possible. With all these creds, everything, not that we actually take credit, well we have. Our ascendancy buff off. Other than that, this is a really hard map, basically. Hopefully this phase should go smooth. Don't want to stand it. And be done. Okay, so this was the character. Just open up a portal and let's go walk through the character again. This is my own character after everything. Basically right now we are 95. I've been playing really hard content. That's why I don't wanna wait for a level up. So I'm more than happy with 95 right now. The eventual stuff that we wanted, I got the Watcher's Eye, everything. You will have all of your flasks up because this is a mapping character. It's not, as I mentioned, this is not a bossing character, it's a mapping character, so you're gonna have all your flasks up. We already went over the weapon. I don't think that I changed anything except maybe the rings from the last time, and I got this belt as well. Basically everything is what I currently have, and it does the job. Right, currently our cyclone has a crit chance of 100%, so we are not missing anything. I was thinking about putting up a point here, but that will put us over the 6.5 cap, as I mentioned, because of the internal cooldown of the cast on crit. We don't want to have an attack on a boss that cannot trigger, because then we have to wait until the next attack. So you want to aim for something less than 650 or double that, 13 basically. So you want to aim for something like that. I'm aiming for 615 because I don't think that we can get to 13 that easily without very heavy investment. And we currently have like 100 crit chance with all of our stuff up, which is gonna be 100% of the time while you're mapping. And on Volatile Dead, we have 200k damage. Keep in mind 6 times a second, 4 balls, which means 800,000. So 800, 6, about 5 million damage. 200,000 short of 5 million damage, right? So that's more than enough for character. And keep in mind, this 5 million is AoE. The volatile balls are AoE damage. So whenever they trigger, they damage a bunch of mobs around. And that's why this is such an enjoyable character. Very fast, very enjoyable. When we have everything up, we have 148% movement speed, which is going to be multiplied by that 30% less of Cyclone. But it's still high enough that I feel very easy just cycloning through everything, especially because I have this node for Cyclone somewhere in here. Yeah, immune to curses while chanting, so I could drop. I did drop my curse immunity flask for another Atziri, basically. So it's between that or Atziri's Promise or Cinder Soul, basically. So this setup works perfectly fine right now. I wanted to go over the perfect gear as well. Here is the perfect POE. Both of these are going to be attached to the video link, so you can go over them yourself. The last 5 points is actually, we are going to come here and get an intuitive leap, so we can basically allocate the passives and go for 30 more crit multi, because our crit chance is 99.48, so crit multiplier is basically at added damage for us at this point. And some survivability, some more life, which is going to put us over 6k, 6.1 life, which is very nice. If you want to do this, there's something else. You can drop all these points. You're not going to lose on that much crit, or for 1 power charge that much crit or that much damage. This is another option for 4 points. Coming here, intuitively drop this one, pick up these two, or pick up these two, whichever one you feel more comfortable, basically. And I actually changed a bunch of our gear as well. The ones that you see perfect in the beginning, those are the ones that I changed. So there is a possibility that you can go for a perfect exquisite blade. This is going to be not mirror tier because you're still multi-crafting it, which means that you only have 3 good stats on it, tops, but still very expensive. It's going to be very expensive. Something like this exists. I checked actually in the trade site, there was no such a thing. But with 20% cast on crit, the highest you can get critical strike chance, and if you've killed recently, because this is a mapping character, you want to have that as, hey, I've killed recently because I've been mapping. This is not a bossing character. You can do bossing, and I'll talk about it, but for mapping, this is going to be more consistent and feel better, so you can drop a bunch of other investment that you have on the crit itself and go with something else, or more damage, more survivability, whatever you feel is necessary. But that's like the perfect thing for us. And then the same thing, melee and movement skills have like 39% chance to fortify on hit, which Cyclone counts as 1, which means that we can drop a fortify link for something a lot better. And then you can multi-craft it, that hits cannot be evaded, and spell damage. You can do spell damage. The 99% spell damage is 1x. If you don't want to invest that much, you can do like a spell damage with added chaos damage, percent of non-chaos damage 5 to 6%, added chaos damage. But I feel like the spell damage flat is going to be a lot better for us, because we don't have any penetration on chaos, but we have a lot of penetration on this specific thing, on fire damage, basically. This is going to be your perfect knight, the perfect helmet for us. The only thing that I changed was add the -9% to fire resistance. Basically, get as much resistance as you can. The 2 things that you're looking for is Volatile Dead, maybe a maximum power charge, and the enemies have -9% to resistances. That's the perfect helmet that you can go for. You can add a bunch of different things as well, like +2 to AoE gems, but that type of thing is going to be very rare. You cannot actually get that because this has two, I believe, warlords affixes, and you can only get one with an slam, so that cannot even exist. But this is going to be a perfect helmet. You can have a double corrupted Calm's Heart with like 6% increased life and 46% increased damage. I was actually going for one of those increased damage, but I didn't feel the need to go for more damage of it, for more survivability basically. These are still the same thing. I just added the boots. You can add multi-craft this with the same life, but with cannot be frozen. So you can drop the frozen flask, and you can go with bottle face, or this is actually 4 unique flasks that you can go for: bottle face, at Search Promise, the Wise Oak. In the order of damage, as you can see, the Wise Oak is the highest one, then Bottle Face, then at Search Promise. But you wanna, this is your, when you wanna do single target. If you wanna do just mapping, probably Cinder Soul is still your best bet, and it feels amazing when you're playing with Cinder Soul, right? I changed the jewel that we are getting here as well, the large cluster jewel, to add the corrosive of elements, so we can drop another link for getting the fire exposure. And then cremator means that you don't have to deal with any after death effect, because we have such a high crit chance. Anything that we hit with our cyclone, anything that we hit with our volatile death is probably already critted with some fire damage, which means that it's going to be burning, which means that, as you can see, it's going to be ignited. As you can see, ignited enemies hit are destroyed and killed, which means that we don't have to worry about any undeath effects. That's really nice for mapping characters. You can go zoom, no problem, no issues. Everything else is fine. I just added another affix that you can look for on the Watcher's Eye. The game fast charges is really nice for sustain, even if you're, it's not gonna do anything for your Cinder Soul, but for everything else it's gonna be really nice when you're just mapping generally, and you don't want to worry about like fast charges. But you can go for fire damage with anger, or crit multi with precision as well on top of the other two. The fire penetration for fire resistance is still the best, but the other two you can add one of those and get like a I-86, I-84, 86, I don't remember, the Uber Watcher Eye with 3 mods basically. This is gonna be the perfect tree. As I said, these points were added, and I added a bunch of different items basically to look for. Like when you're building your own character, you probably cannot get exactly the same things that I have, right? So you want to look for something like that, import your character into POE, see how much damage feels right to you, how much life feels right to you. For example, I ended up actually anointing this for my specific case because this gave me more damage than Divine Judgment or the Heart of Flame. These 3 are like the candidates for us for damage. And then I was originally thinking about doing Soul of Steel, but I felt like it's really not needed survivability wise. We died 2 times in this map by the boss, right? But this was a 60% Delirium with all these mods, as you can see, like damage mod, crit mod. If we were in Cyclone and we didn't have our buff up, maybe that would get us, but that 1% and 5% physical damage wouldn't have saved us, because we are not investing that much into life and that many layers of defense in general. As you can see, we have 40% dodge chance, 30% spell dodge chance, 18% physical damage reduction, and that's it basically, right? If we were going more heavier on dodge or something else, we may have had some use for it, but not really right now. This is going to be a mapping character. If you're playing hardcore, I wouldn't play Cast and Crit on hardcore at all. This type of character is for softcore enjoyment only, I feel like. So just disregard anything that I said. If you're a hardcore player, which I am, every now and then, every couple of leagues, I play one hardcore and I play one SSF, and I go back to softcore for 2 more leagues, and then I keep this cycle to keep myself fresh. So if you want to do something for hardcore, probably I would redesigned this whole character around being very survivable, especially if you want to do bossing. Now, bossing wise, what type of bosses can you do? Guardians, joke. The Elder Guardians, the Shaper Guardians, Shaper itself, Elder itself. I ran all, 10 of those easily, no problem. Just keep in mind, you want to play around their queued moves, right? You cannot stay in a Shaper Beam or something. Cyrus, however, is a different story because you have to play around the apparition, and I wouldn't do Cyrus on this character. This is just the only reason that I actually leveled up the other character was because I wanted to do everything myself. I was outsourcing and getting like a bossing service for my bosses, but I enjoy every last piece of this game, so I didn't want it to do that, so I leveled up the other character. And that character is great at bossing, not great at anything else because it's really slow. And this character is great at mapping, so I have a character that can do anything that I want to do. So like as I showed you, I've ran a bunch of Simulacrum maps before this, and even in Simulacrum you can do it if the layout allows you to. You can do the level 20 bosses very easily, everything else. The only thing that, as I mentioned, I would not do is basically Cyrus itself. And that's pretty much it for this character. Hope you guys enjoyed this set of videos. I may have a bonus for you guys at some point. I'm thinking about changing this character to add something interesting to it. If I do that, I'll add like a bonus. This character is finished by all meaning of the word, but I may change this character to enhance it a little bit by something different. If I do that, I will put out a video for that one so you can see how I did that. But this character is finished from my case. I'm gonna put out another video maybe next week about the bossing character. That character is already finished as well. I've tried all the bosses in the game with it, and I did a Deathless Cyrus level 8 2 days ago, I believe, and at level 83, 93, it already does every boss in the game, so I don't feel like even that character has that much to do. So yeah, that's the last of these set of videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this character as much as I did. This was a really fun character that I played. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.